The world isn't going to burn down if you don't get through your to-do list. If you're new here, my name is Cassie Amber and I'm a plant-based holistic nutritionist, but I've been really diving into feminine healing and lots of personal development and mindset work lately as well. So coming from someone who would freak out if people move too slow, if people walk too slow. I remember going to this girl's house for her birthday and she lived on this big property with lots of land, and we were like walking down to go look at the lake or the river, and I was stressed out going for a relaxing nature walk, and it was stressing me out that she talked too slow as well, because she was like a spiritual person and would take her time with her words. And because I was so used to being in fight or flight mode, I'm like uncomfortable, like, oh my god, get to the end of your sentence. Like it was like genuinely stressful. And today I want to share with you some of the tips I've done, well, some of the habits and shifts I've implemented, which has given me the most successful year of my life whilst having the most downtime and rest. I've gotten to know myself better. I've gone into my feminine energy and attracted and learned about who I am and fully embodied this new chapter instead of needing to be on the grind all the time and constantly needing to be doing something. I would freak out if I would have a lay down because of also people in my life and certain situations that happened. If I needed to have like a little lay down or rest, my brain was like, oh my god, you shouldn't be doing this right now, you don't deserve it, look at all the things you've got to do, like you need to get up. And like I couldn't even rest and rejuvenate, which led to extreme burnout periods, and I was just like in this freak out state at all times. I couldn't even sleep like for years and years. So if you like videos on all this kind of thing and glowing up into the best version of you, don't forget to hit subscribe, and you can follow me for more daily content on my Instagram and TikTok at Cassie Amber Wellness as well. So thank you for being here. So creating the most successful year of my life in 2024. I remember last year being in the car with my last partner, and I actually got dumped for not achieving my goals fast enough. So of course this created extreme feelings around not feeling safe to take a moment, to have a rest day, to slow down if I genuinely need to slow down because I'm exhausted from constantly trying to push towards my goals. Like sometimes we just need to take a step back. So because I lost my dream man and the person I thought I was going to marry, my dream house with the white walls and my own kitchen and the first like safe, peaceful space I've ever had, like my dream home, and I lost everything in an instant. I didn't see it coming. Like it just happened so suddenly, and life took a turn. And also things in my childhood with feeling like I could never be enough for my parents, no matter how hard I tried. It wasn't the exact thing they wanted, or like in this exact box that they wanted me to achieve within. So it felt unsafe to rest. Like you better work even harder now because you've just lost everything for not doing enough, not achieving enough, not getting your goals fast enough, not doing enough in a day. It's always like not enough, not enough. And I remember when my best friend even moved over from New Zealand, I was in a narcissistic relationship for 4 years prior. So she came over to visit me, and when she told me about this moment, we were driving in the car and we are going to go rock climbing, and I took a wrong turn on the highway, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like freaking out that I'm going to get in massive trouble for taking a wrong turn. And she's like, it's all good. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, we'll just get there 5 minutes after we're meant to. And I was like, oh, okay. And because I'm so used to walking on eggshells, like taking the wrong turn was like I would get yelled at, like I wasn't allowed to even drive anymore at the end of that first relationship. Like I'm not even a bad driver. Like I've never even had a crash or anything. But it's like you're constantly walking on eggshells and you can't do anything wrong. So your nervous system is like always in the state of fight or flight. And then something I had to work through this year was like, well, what is enough? How do you know without someone external telling you how much you should be doing in a day, or how fast you should be like along, like how far along the timeline of your goals should you be? When there's no one else to tell you, I had to go to counseling because I'm like, well, how do I know if I'm in charge of my own life what is enough? How do I know how much is enough in a day, or how fast should I be achieving my goals? And I actually had to like learn this from scratch. And I remember being in such a state of rage last year. I actually had this healing session done on me because I felt like there was a rage monster inside of my body. Like I was just not okay. Point number 2 is letting go of other people's expectations and honoring your body. So we all know that men and women have a different body clock. Women live by the month and men live by the same 24 hours. They are built to wake up and go to their job and have the same energy throughout the day and live that on repeat. And women are such different creatures. We can't compare ourselves to that. And we physically need more downtime and we need rest and rejuvenation. And then there's times when we can go super hard and be super creative and be so social and really pushing towards our goals, but we've got to honor our bodies in the process. Also, if you're neurodivergent, you need more free space because you need to reflect on conversations you've had, the day you've had, you need to organize the thoughts in your mind. You get more burnt out because you're paying attention to all these random things that just fly over other people's heads. So what I did to support that is create a life that actually supports my body. I don't want to live a normal life. I don't want a 9 to 5. Even if that means I have 4 or 5 different things on the go, which most people think I'm super busy, but I actually have not so much free space, but more free time than the average person because that's what I value. I want time to go out and sit with my dog in the sun for 10 minutes while I drink my coffee. I want time to do my exercise after lunch in the afternoon because that's like how my body thrives. Going to the gym, then coming back and walking my dog before sunset. I want time to be able to do that, not needing to go first thing in the morning or super late at night. So I've created my life to suit what I want and my internal systems. And also I've had chronic urticaria hives for 4 months, super intense. So that has forced me to slow down while I get to the bottom of it. For 2 months straight, I was sleeping like 12 hours a day, and that was after my bodybuilding show. And recently is at the point I'm only sleeping 3 hours a night, but I've needed a lot more rest to restore my body, to take time in cooking nourishing meals, to like ease the itching and make the welts go down, to have some extra rest if I was unable to sleep at night. And just because my body is in such a state of healing and wasn't fully balanced, or something is disrupted while I get to the bottom of the cause, which I think I might be getting closer to it, but I've just physically needed to cut off heaps of stuff. And during my bodybuilding show, I didn't have time to be saying yes to everything. I had to go inwards and focus on my goals. So I've had plenty of periods this year where I've spent a lot of time in bed and I've actually manifested more. So working harder doesn't equal more success. Point number 3 is stop being a people pleaser. You need aligned friends who understand. I'm so grateful to have the friends that I have. They just get it. And there's been times where like I've had to cancel on a friend and she's super busy. Like she works full-time in construction, she's a business owner, a bodybuilder, and was studying nutrition. And I had to like cancel on her, and I barely saw her this year, and she's like, oh, thank God you cancelled because I had other stuff I needed to do this afternoon. And it doesn't affect the friendship. Like, yes, you miss each other and we do need to actually meet up, but it's not like, oh, okay, I see how it is. And I've got another friend that we've barely seen each other this year as well, and she was feeling like a bad friend because when she caught up with her friends, her other friends recently, they were like, oh, we've barely seen you this year, and we're kind of not being mean about it, but just making her feel a little bit guilty. So she was feeling like a bad friend. And in my head, I'm like, oh wow, she's like one of the friends that really sticks out to me as one of my closest people, just because we have a phone call like every few weeks or once a month, and we have time to catch up, even if it's over the phone, even if it's just a few messages back and forth. Like, she is actually one of my best friends, even though we've barely seen each other because we've both been so busy. So just having friends that actually get it and don't take it personally, maybe if you don't reply straight away because you're overwhelmed by your inbox, people that just get it and get you. You don't have time to be wasting energy and time on random crap and randos who want to meet up. So it's important to have a social life, yes, but I have gotten so particular on what I go to. Because say if someone wants to meet up to get to know me on a Wednesday night, that is a whole night taken away from my rest and me working on my business and my goals and my alone time. So yes, I do occasionally go out and meet people or spend time with people, but I used to say yes to everyone and I didn't understand their intentions. And even if I thought they were meeting up just as a friend, they actually thought it was something more in their head and had like different expectations. So I'm just there like driving into town, using my gas, like going out for a meal or whatever, or going out for a drink, which gives you not like a hangover the next day, but puts you not in an optimum state for the next day. Maybe the food disrupts your stomach. Like spending time driving when you don't even need to be doing that. So although that may seem cutthroat, if you want to achieve your goals, you've got to cut out the shit. Even with events and raves, because I'm a huge raver, once I went into bodybuilding especially, and just with different health things I've had going on this year, I've needed a lot of time to restore myself. I can't just say yes to every event that's kind of cool, because if you go out on a Saturday night, you're up till, well, I'll be up till like 5 a.m. Then I would have a few hours sleep, and then the whole Sunday you're groggy, and then I'm still affected on the Monday, and then Tuesday is really the start of the week. And that also impacts your fitness and your dietary choices, whether you're like not eating your usual plan, or you're too tired to cook, or not eating enough. So I still will always be going to raves, but if there's just like an event that's kind of cool, I'm not going. I only go if I'm playing or if it's someone awesome or I really need a night out. There was a period earlier in the year where I had like 6 weeks off raving, and I was like, honestly, I just need a night out. So like then I'll just go to something that's kind of cool. But I just pick the best things to go to, because I can't be spending every Saturday staying up super late and disrupting my whole schedule. Point number 4 is not valuing yourself based on how many hours you've worked or your productivity. Life doesn't actually need to be like that. There was someone who posted online just saying, oh, everyone's posting about how much money they earned. Well, how about they post about how many hours they worked, because this person worked themselves into the ground this year. They're still okay, but I'm worried for them based on what I've gone through with extreme burnout from just pushing way too hard for way too long and not knowing how to stop. So being busy doesn't equal more success. So say if you're super busy, you might be buying food on the go, or you might be spending more money on food on the go, which is also less healthy. So that's also a detriment to your health and to your wallet. And then you might be paying for more things that are convenient. So it doesn't always equal that. And there's a thing called scalable income. So hours doesn't equal dollars unless you work a job, but you can work a job and have side hustles that have scalable revenue that don't tie your pay to spending an hour of time. So working more and sleeping less and being more stressed and never seeing your friends, that's not the epitome of life. The epitome of life is fulfillment and actually creating memories and deeper connections and living in your purpose and taking time out to notice the small things in the world around you. Point number 5 is knowing when to go hard and when to rein it in. This has been my biggest lesson and thing I've achieved and been working on this year, just balancing the masculine and feminine energies. So say today I was really tired. It's coming up to the end of the year. I worked the last 2 days. I've been struggling with my sleep. I've had time off the gym so I could heal my hives and just haven't felt up to working out. I've only gone for a couple of light walks, but that was needed as well, just having like a decent rest. But there was a few things I needed to do in my business. So I had to edit week 4 of my Fantasy Life training program. Also, if you're interested in that, I'll talk about it a little bit at the end, but the link will be below if you want to join us. And I had to film this YouTube video because I've got the house to myself and I hate talking on video if someone can hear me, and my flatmate's getting ready room where she does her makeup and plods around and like cleans things is right outside the door. So I could just get over it, but I'm never fully myself if I can hear like someone walking around and they can hear me talking through the door. Like I always stop and then I'm like quiet and then lose my train of thought because I get distracted from the sounds. So I'm like, right, I've got the house to myself, film this video now. And I'm also DJing a forest party for New Year's Eve. So this video will be live after that. But I've got to start my mix because I've only got one more day until I need to leave, because this New Year's has honestly really snuck up on me. So instead of not doing the thing and not honoring the clients in my program because I need to get the video live, and then also I want to be more consistent with my YouTube and my podcast. It's a big goal of mine for 2025. So I'm starting now before the new year and I need to get my mix done. So I've got a set to play. Instead of just not doing it, I allowed myself the rest and I had a big sleep in this morning. I didn't get up till like 10:45 and I did lots of cleaning, organized some things, put on some washing, did some groceries, had another lay down and had a snack, and then got into it at nighttime. So it's about giving your body what it needs, but not completely dropping your goals and forgetting about it, or like stopping the commitment to yourself and your dreams, but giving yourself some time and then still doing the thing. So it's practicing discernment and knowing when to go hard or when to just call it a day and then try again the next day. And don't forget, sometimes less is more when it comes to your training. Like at the gym, people think I honestly gym like 7 days a week and go twice a day, or I'm there for hours. I have had a week off and only went twice the week prior, but just because I'm going through a healing phase, but on a regular week, I go 4 times a week and my workouts are like 45 minutes or 50 minutes. If it's a huge day and I'm really taking my time and stretch after and do all this extra stuff like an hour, or an hour 10 for like the biggest day ever. But honestly, most of my workouts are about 50 minutes, and that's still me taking my time. So yeah, sometimes less is more. I actually have time to recover. I've got more energy to go hard. Like, I see the best results from actually spacing it out and not overdoing it. Number 6 is nailing the basics. You need to have fuel in the tank to be able to have something to give, and for your energy output and your clarity and your focus and your mood, your hormones, your skin. Show up for yourself in terms of getting up earlier or adjusting your day to fit your body clock, because you might be a night owl. But for me, I want to be getting up earlier in 2025. Even little things like when my sleep schedule gets out of hand, that can take like quite a few days to recover from, when you're staying up too late, so then you sleep in and then you're out of the cycle again. So just making sure you're setting yourself up for success and doing the things that make you feel your best. And number 7, for managing being a boss babe while also living a soft life, creating several sources of income, some of which don't equal an hourly wage. So one of my things I'm gonna do for 2025 is get my product suite up and running. I had big periods of time, like I didn't really work on my business much at all in 2024 because I had so many life changes and my focus was just elsewhere. And a lot of the time I was just in survival mode or in healing mode or needing to move house and working through lots of inner shit to up level to who I am today. So it wasn't necessarily working on my business, but it was a year of working on myself. And a few years, like the years prior, there was lots of turbulence, I would say. So in 2025, I'm getting my product suite up and running, and I've got digital products I want to launch. There's more programs that I want to launch. I want to be consistent with YouTube and podcast and work on my recipe app, which will become more of a wellness platform. And I also do other things. I do OnlyFans, I do DJing on the side, I work on a gym reception, and I do promo work. And I've just always been a person that likes to have a week with lots of variety. So think about what this could mean for you. Is there some kind of side hustle you can do on the side that generates income, because we shouldn't be putting all of our eggs in one basket. And point number 8 is doing things that light you up regularly. I read an interesting social media post the other day that talked about kind of blobbing out rest versus filling up your cup rest. And there's the kind of rest like when you're scrolling on your phone or you're just in a completely zoned out state and you're just fully blobbing out. But if you only do that kind of rest, you don't actually feel rejuvenated. So there's other things you can do, like going for a nature walk, where it's still time away from work or business or the hustle and bustle. So it's still something relaxing that doesn't require a lot of energy exertion, but that will fill up your cup and give you energy from the fresh air, the sunshine, the movement, all those kinds of things. Other ideas are like having a bath, or maybe you want to cook a new recipe for dinner, but really take your time with it and have a glass of wine. And that doesn't require huge amounts of energy, but it will fill up your cup because you get something out of it. And don't forget to dress up how you want to show up. I've really been leaning into this just near the end of the year. I've noticed it more than ever, like when I've got a messy bun and no makeup and just some old clothes that I feel very average in. I have a very average day and I'm not productive, I'm not focusing on things that move the needle, and I don't feel like I'm in my highest power. And I used to only wear gym clothes every day as well, like every day, because I had to gym, I had to walk the dog, and I couldn't be getting dressed more times than that. So a few times this year, I've put on a dress. Me in a dress, and I'm like, oh, I feel very feminine and flowy and soft and elegant. So it really does change your mood. And I do put effort in to do my makeup, not every day. Like I don't always do the eyeshadow and things like that. If I do winged eyeliner, I am a bad bitch that can do anything. But otherwise I just do like cool eyeshadow, and if it's just like a really plain day, I just do like a tinted zinc sunscreen or like a tinted moisturizer as a similar kind of thing, and just like mascara and do like a real natural look. But on the days I don't do anything, and yeah, I've like tied my hair up to have a shower and just put like moisturizer on or nothing, and I'm just like walking around, I just feel like a slob, or like in my masculine energy, or like it's just not ideal. But when I take that extra time, it really does pay off. And then even when you are relaxing, even if you put on like some cute little silky pajamas or something, or just something that makes you feel nice, or I even just brought trackies that are pink and they're like really fluffy and nice on the inside. So even though it's trackies, it's still like got this extra pizzazz and you still feel like cute and nice. So when you are relaxing and blobbing out, you still feel like a higher version of you rather than just feeling like crap. And before I end the video, I just want to invite you to Fantasy Life. I'll be running another round. So this is for the people who, well, I created this for people who dream of something more, but you may not believe it's possible for yourself, or you just want a different life. I say that I'm living in a fantasy. I refer to myself as a unicorn, mermaid, fairy, because I live in a fairy house with 2 other fairy girls, and I always identified as a unicorn, like this mystical, unrealistic creature from another realm. And I'm also a mermaid now because of my hair, and all of those 3 things aren't real. And how can you be all 3 at once? But the life I've created is like this mystical fantasy land, and I live in that every day. And me and the girls I live with, we dress like that every day. We all wear like clothes that represent that, and we just actually make that our reality, and we live life on our terms. So there's a process to actually achieve that. You can't really just step into it. There's lots of inner work that you need to do, like breaking down mental barriers and defining what that looks like for you, and then how to actually make that a reality and make a living out of it. So I want to walk you through step by step on the framework to get there. So head to the link below. I'd love if you join us. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Cassie Amber Wellness. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm excited to see you grow into the hottest, baddest version of you.